What's good, what's good, what's good? Welcome to the Ant Show. I'm your host, Expect the Ant. And as always, I'm joined by my co-host, M. Bowden. M. Bowden, what's good this week?
What's good, world? What's good?
On this week's episode, man, we're going to discuss, should Ray Rice get a second chance? Also, should deflate gate make you lose faith in Roger Goodell? Plus, football is back. So we're going to go ahead and celebrate the return of football as preseason kicks off tomorrow. We're going to take a trip down memory lane. And as always, you can follow us on Twitter at ExpectedAnt. We're on Tumblr at ExpectedAnt. We're also on YouTube at AntWeezy. We're also on, you also subscribe to us on iTunes as well. So we're all over the place, all over the world, all over the internet, everywhere. So, we're going to start things off this week, man, by discussing Ray Rice. And it's been a year since Ray Rice's domestic violence incident. And about it, man, after a whole year, Ray Rice still has not found a job yet. Not only has Ray Rice not found a job in the NFL, he hasn't been signed. He hasn't even gotten a tryout yet. Now, we've seen this season, tomorrow we're going to see Adrian Peterson. He's getting a second chance with the Minnesota Vikings after the whole child abuse incident. Not only is Adrian Peterson getting a second chance, the Minnesota Vikings getting a new contract.
That's good.
Greg Hardy is getting a second chance with the Cowboys after the Carolina Panthers cut him after his whole entire domestic violence charge went down as well last year. But so Ray Rice, Greg Hardy getting a second chance, Adrian Peterson getting a second chance, but yet somehow Ray Rice can't even get a tryout with any team. And for me personally, I think Ray Rice is being blackballed by the NFL because of the video of him knocking his wife out. But with that being said, you can't tell me that teams out there can't use a Super Bowl winning running back like Ray Rice. You can't tell me that a team like the Houston Texans, who need a running back right now, badly need a running back right now, can't use a healthy 28-year-old Super Bowl winning running back like Ray Rice. You can't tell me teams like Houston, a team like the Houston Texans who really need a running back, who's desperate for the running back, can't use Ray Rice, but yet Houston came out and said they're not even looking at Ray Rice right now. My question to you, Bowden, is do you think Ray Rice deserves a second chance in the NFL?
I think he deserves a second chance. He deserves a second chance, man. He paid his dues. The court with him. He did.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at his criminal record, there's nothing there. Like they dropped all charges. Both him and his wife got the charges dropped.
Yeah, I believe he deserves a second chance. Everybody deserves a second, third, fourth chance. Some people, sometimes, if he messes up again, he's on his own. But yeah, I believe he deserves. I believe he paid his debt to society. And yeah, I believe. Look at Michael Vick. They gave him a second chance. He's doing his thing. And Adrian Peterson, and a man from
Greg Hardy,
domestic violence. Greg Hardy from Carolina Panthers.
Now he's not with the Dallas Cowboys.
Dallas Cowboys. Now they gave him a second chance. So I believe he deserves it. I don't see why not.
Now, do you agree with me though that he's getting blackballed because unlike Adrian Peterson and unlike Michael Vick or Greg Hardy, Ray Rice's incident was caught on tape. So we look at the security camera footage, and he just hit his wife with a left hook.
Look ugly, man. That's it looks ugly when they caught on camera, man. When you talk about domestic violence, you actually see it. everybody's minds, you know, and I don't think that should be held over his head, but you know, that's probably why ain't nobody picked him up yet. You know, it'd be more like if it was just, you know, on paper, but you see it on camera. It's still fresh in everybody's minds, especially when you could always YouTube it, see what he actually went down and see it, you know, kind of like, you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think they should hold that against him because he paid his dues, but I think I can understand a little bit. I can, you know what I'm saying?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, to me, you know, he's being blackballed because, like you said, you could go on YouTube, you could see it, but I mean, to me, it's still not fair because, like I said, man, there's teams in the NFL, the Houston Texans being one of them, that desperately need a running back. And you can't tell me a guy like Ray Rice, you can't use a guy like that. I mean, it was just 3 years ago that Ray Rice was, you know, probably the best offensive player for the Super Bowl champion Baltimore Ravens. He helped Baltimore win the Super Bowl. So, I mean, you can't tell me. Go ahead.
Let me ask you this question. Now, if Adrian Peterson would have been caught on tape with him as a child, you think he'll still be playing right now?
I think Adrian Peterson's situation is a lot more tricky because I think the problem with Adrian Peterson is more of a cultural thing. Because I think you know, if I mean, I don't put a race card here, but I'll go ahead and say it. I think black people look at Adrian Peterson and say, okay, it was caught on tape. Then black people look at it and be like, okay, he's doing what he's supposed to do. He's whooping his son. His son did wrong, but he beat his ass. You know, white folks gonna look at it like that's child abuse. So I think it's more it's a cultural thing. And even people in Minnesota even said themselves, like, look, we can't, who are we to judge on how a man raises his child? That's how the Minnesota Vikings look at it. So based off of that, I'll say yes. I think it's more of a culture thing. I think to black people, it's like, what's the big deal? To white people, it's kind of like, you know, how dare you hit a child? But no matter what the child did, it's kind of like, how dare you, put his hands on the child? So, I mean, to me, it's more of a cultural thing. Greg Hardy, I think would be a better example. But then again, the judge threw that case out of court. So I'm not even sure if the girl's lying or not, or telling the truth.
Yeah, like I said again, I think Ray Rice paid his dues, man. I think he should give him another chance. Hopefully they'll open up the door for him. You know, just slide on in there, do his thing. I'm surprised that the Dolphins ain't picked him up.
Yeah, they're another team that can use a running back. Like I said, there's teams out there. You know, you got Miami, you got Houston. All these teams need running backs, and yet Ray Rice can't even get a try. I mean, hell, the Dallas Cowboys need a running back, and yet somehow Ray Rice can't get I mean, whether they sign him or not, that's one thing, but the fact that he can't even get a tryout, that's what baffles me. Like I said, Ray Rice ain't that old, man. He's only 28.
28.
And it was just 3 years ago. Yeah, he showed remorse. You know what I mean?
To Roger Goodell, did he talk to him? Did he show remorse?
Yeah, he did. I mean, I'm saying, like, he's been reinstated into the NFL. So it's not really Roger Goodell. The question is, how come teams won't sign him? Like, he's eligible to play in the NFL, just that teams who just don't want to sign him. And it's not that, like I said, it was just 3 years ago he helped Baltimore win the Super Bowl. So it's not like it's not like he's a guy that's past his prime. But this is what Ray Rice had to say about the situation, and to say, about, and this is show that he's remorseful. He said, "I always preach one or two bad decisions, and your dream could be." He said, "I always preach one or two bad decisions, and your dream could become a nightmare. But I think that every step that I took going forward right now, over time, I want to be able to rewrite the script. I want to be able to tell my daughter that Daddy made a mistake, and Daddy made the worst decision of his life, but this is what I did going forward." So he wants to rewrite a script. He wants to go out on his own terms. And right now, nobody's even giving him a chance to rewrite the script.
Well, maybe he ought to go into a different direction. Maybe he ought to, just go into business or something. Maybe he should go into coaching, though. Maybe he should, it's so many other ways, to rewrite the script. Maybe.
Yeah, but I think the key part though. Yeah, but I think the key part though you're missing though is when he says, he wants to go out on his own terms. He doesn't want to retire because he hit his wife. He wants to prove that he can still play.
Still play and do his thing.
Exactly.
So is it too late to pick them up, or do people they still
No, they still pick them up. I mean, training camp just started last week. It ain't like So I mean, they can still pick them up, but no team is right now even giving them a chance. Not even looking at them. You've had women come out and support Ray Rice, saying, "Hey, give him a second chance."
There you go, right there. But now it's all on the discretion of the coaches and stuff. Now the coaches and staff, who wanted to take a chance with him. But one question I have to ask, because it's kind of strange. What kind of player was he? Was he a flamboyant type of player, or was he one of them type guys that just humble like Jordan?
No, he was very humble. Before this incident with his wife, Ray Rice had a reputation of being squeaky clean. He was a guy that never got into any trouble, never did any wrong. He gave back to the community. He donated money to schools in Baltimore to help that community out. He's originally from New York. He does things in the New York area. Gives back to his high school in New York. So he's done a lot of things for the community. So up until this one incident, he's really been a squeaky clean dude.
Yeah. He all right then. I think they ought to take it.
So that's what he's saying is that he made a bad decision, and like I said, me and you, we've been there. We've all been in relationships where things just get out of hand with your old lady, and that's what happened in that situation with him and his wife.
It happened to the best of us, man.
Yeah,
it happens to the best of us, man. I mean, I think people ought to just give him another chance, man. Give him another chance. Shouts out to Ray Rice, man.
Now his college coach from Rutgers is trying to help him get back in the NFL, and trying to do everything that he can to, help him, get back. According to his coach, his college coach anyway, Greg Schiano, who used to be the coach of Tampa Bay Buccaneers before he got fired 2 years ago. But he said that as a former player, and all my former players, they have my number. And if I could ever help them, they could just pretty much call. And Ray Rice is still the all-time leading rusher at the University of Rutgers. He had over 4,926 yards rushing in his 3 years in college.
Got to be more careful. Bad what? That's a bad buck right there.
Like I said, man, it wasn't that long ago. It was just 3 years ago when he helped Baltimore win the Super Bowl. He was the run. So I mean, I also understand why teams not really give him a look. Me personally, I think it has to do with the tape. But like you said, man, he deserves a second chance. There's a lot of women out there who've forgiven him, and they all said he deserves a second chance. I understand why teams are not trying to give him a second chance. Like I said, his college coaches helping him out. So shouts out to Greg Schiano trying to get him back in the league.
Shouts out to him. I guess on his part, he just had to be patient. Maybe he might not play this year. He might play this year. But
but the thing,
but next year they'll probably pick him up.
Yeah, well, no, but see, to me, I look at it as like this: if he doesn't play this year, he's probably not gonna play next year either. Because remember, he got suspended all of last year, so he didn't play last year. If he doesn't play again, it's 2 years out of football. So it means and now that, but right now he's 28. Next year's be 29. And so, 2 years out of football, it's I mean, I don't care how much, how much you work out. I don't care how many weights you lift. If you're not, there's a difference between working out at the gym and being in football shape. And if he misses 2 years out of football, he ain't gonna be in football shape. So it might be hard for him to come back next year if he doesn't play this year. No, but his coach said that when that dreadful night happened, I felt like, how can I help this guy? That's what his college coach said. But Greg Schiano is one of Ray Rice's biggest advocates because, as Greg Schiano said, he knows what this kid is about, and he said he knows what kind of man that Ray Rice is, and he understands that Ray Rice just made one mistake.
Bad choice, yeah. That go to show everybody, I understand.
Yeah, I mean, he's human.
Choices.
Yeah.
Sometimes that one choice could mess you up like that, but
yeah, and like I said, man, with his situation too, man, it wasn't like, it wasn't like he just snapped and just beat on his wife, man. Him and his wife got into an argument. His wife hit him too, and I think at that point, he just reached his limits, and he just reacted and knocked his wife out. Not excusing him for what he did, but I'm just saying, it was just more or less a heat of the moment type of thing.
One good thing about it is that he keeping his head up and he got his chest out, and he still got his mind, and he's still moving forward. That's the greatest thing that anybody could do in that situation, is just to persevere and to keep your head up. So I think he gonna be all right. Ray Rice gonna be all right. He gonna get signed by somebody. Somebody gonna pick him up, and if not,
and Ray Rice even said that he's willing to play for the league minimum, which is about $400,000. So he ain't even looking for the money.
He just wanted
a chance to play.
He just wanted his chance to play and get back out there, get active, and do the things he need to do as a man. Just laying around not doing anything make you feel like less of a man. You know what I'm saying? He want to get out there and do what he do best.
Yeah.
Ray Rice, that's that running back position. That's his thing. And I don't blame him. He gonna be all right, man. As long as he keep that positive attitude going, he gonna be fine. He gonna be fine. Everybody mess up sometimes.
Yeah, we all do. We all do. And speaking of, go ahead, Bowden.
Yeah, shouts out to Ray Rice, man. Keep your head up.
Yeah, speaking of somebody else that needs to keep their head up, that's Michael Vick. As Michael Vick's hands might be the reason why he's unemployed right now. So Buffalo Bills head coach Rex Ryan, who coached Michael Vick last year with the Jets, said that he wanted to sign Michael Vick because the general manager of the Buffalo Bills came out and said right now that our team is in a quarterback purgatory right now. As everybody thinks Buffalo is a great team and they should make the playoffs. Only problem is they don't have a quarterback. So the Buffalo Bills were thinking about signing 35-year-old Michael Vick to be the quarterback of the Bills this year. The only reason why the Bills did not sign him, Bowden, was because Michael Vick has small hands. And because he has small hands, they didn't feel that he'll be able to throw the ball very well in that cold-ass winter up there in Buffalo.
Now, I met Michael Vick in person. I seen his hands and everything. Where did I meet him at? I used to stay in Newport News, Virginia, Denby. I was working at Jefferson Walmart. Now, I see he a little bit, he about your size, but that joker hands is huge. I seen him. He dapped me up.
Yeah, but I guess just to play devil's advocate here.
Yeah.
No, you're about what, 5'5", 5'6"?
5'5", yeah, 5'5".
No, so Michael Vick's, my height, 6 feet. So I mean, compared to you, Michael Vick might have big hands. Compared to these other quarterbacks who are about, like Jameis Winston, who just got drafted by Tampa Bay. Jameis Winston's 6'5". Marcus Mariota, the Heisman Trophy winner, who just got drafted by Tennessee, he too is about 6'5", 6'4". So compared to those guys, yeah, Michael Vick, probably got small hands. Because right now the right now the shortest quarterback in the NFL is Russell Wilson, the quarterback of the Seattle Seahawks. He's about 5'10", but again, it doesn't get as cold in Seattle as it does in Buffalo. Buffalo, man, them winters, ain't no joke. You talk about negative degrees and stuff like that. So, dealing with that cold weather, the Bills just felt like, Michael Vick probably won't do well in Buffalo because the Buffalo do play outdoors. It is cold as hell out there, and they didn't think, he probably, it won't be suitable for him to play in that temperature. This ain't like when we used to play back in Atlanta where they play in a dome. Buffalo, you play outdoors in negative degree temperatures and stuff.
Yeah, they adapt to that situation, but they still considering it, or they just said nah.
No. They don't feel like Michael Vick can handle the weather in Buffalo to be able to throw the football because they feel like his hands are too small. But the problem with Michael Vick though is that no team, just like Ray Rice, even though Michael Vick's situation is different, is because of his age. He's 35 now. No teams are really looking at Michael Vick, but Michael Vick refuses to believe that his NFL's career is over. Just like Ray Rice. Michael Vick wants to leave on his terms. He doesn't want to just walk away because he doesn't want to retire because ain't nobody trying to sign him. He still believes he could play in the NFL.
35, when you get about 35, 36, 37, 38. When did, he was a quarterback. I'm thinking about, not Joe Namath, I'm thinking about Joe Montana. He retired when he was 38, right? 36.
Let me look it up for you. But to that point, though, it always bothers me when people say like, "Oh no, this person's too old," or this person's too old. Because even though Michael Vick, football wise, he is old. 35 is old. Because most people at 35, you start thinking about retirement. At the same time, Tom Brady's 38, he's still playing. Peyton Manning's 39, he's still playing. Even though Peyton Manning at 38 last year wasn't all that great. But at 39, he's going to come back for one more year, so we'll see how he does at 39. So, if Tom Brady at 38 can still play, I don't understand why Michael Vick at 35 can't. But to answer your question, man, Joe Montana retired in 1994. And he was 38 years old, you're right.
Yeah. He retired with the
Kansas City Chiefs. So, So Michael Vick, because of his age, he's not really getting that many, not too many teams looking at him right now.
He did his thing. I just hate that he ain't ever won a Super Bowl and nothing like that. He's a great athlete, man. I remember when he first came in, he used to do the defense.
Yeah.
He used to make a fool out of the defense. I really believe he should have played running back or special team versus being a quarterback. He was a good quarterback. Don't get me wrong, but I believe he would have been like kickoff return. I believe he would have tore that up.
I think Michael Vick played the right position. I just think that what hurt him was him going to prison because he was never able to. To me, he never really met his full potential as a quarterback. Because when Michael Vick got drafted, a lot of people felt like he was going to be the next Steve Young, and he never reached that level. But at the same time, he has nobody to blame but himself. But I think that's what hurt him, because he never really met his full potential.
Shouts out to Michael Vick, man. Hope the team pick up. The Jets, not the Jets, the New York Jets, they didn't resign him.
No, they didn't want him. And like I said, if not for the weather in Buffalo, Rex Ryan, the head coach of the Buffalo Bills, said that he wanted to sign Michael Vick. He just thinks that Michael Vick cannot play in that bad weather up there in Buffalo, New York. Because Michael Vick is used to playing in the dome in Atlanta. Even though he did play in bad weather in Philadelphia. But, they just didn't think that Michael Vick, can handle the weather up there in Buffalo, because the weather in Buffalo is worse than Philadelphia.
Yeah, it's by Canada.
Yeah.
New York.
Yeah, because Buffalo's upstate New York, so that's like maybe an hour or two away from Canada.
Yeah. Any other team that need a quarterback?
The Jets, but Michael Vick was a backup for the Jets last year. The Bills need a quarterback, obviously. That's what they're looking at, Michael Vick, but they chose not to sign him. But outside of those two teams, not really. Maybe Houston. No, maybe Houston needs a quarterback, even though they think they have one in Ryan Mallett. I'm not sure how good Ryan Mallett is, but we'll see this season. But not too many teams I can really say need a quarterback. Because teams that did need a quarterback, like Tennessee and Tampa Bay, they all drafted quarterbacks in the draft. And I think that's another thing that hurts Michael Vick, too, is that, they look at it as, why should I sign, like Tennessee, for example, why should I sign a 35-year-old Michael Vick when I can get, a 22-year-old straight out of college who won the Heisman Trophy last year and Marcus Mariota?
Yeah, that make a whole lot of sense. Yeah, you're right. You have more longevity with a younger player versus an older player.
And not only that, but, with Marcus Mariota, him being a rookie, the coaches of the Tennessee Titans, they can mold him the way they want him to be. Michael Vick at 35, he is what he is.
Shout out to Michael Vick, man. Shouts out to Bad News, Virginia, man.
Yeah, the home of Michael Vick and Allen Iverson.
Yeah, the great one. They say Allen Iverson was a better quarterback than the basketball player. They
Yeah. Allen Iverson still has all the state records for the state of Virginia. To this day, he holds all the football records for the state of Virginia. And a lot of people say that, if Allen Iverson had gotten arrested, he would have, because after he went to jail, he lost all his football scholarships. The only scholarship he had left was with Georgetown to play basketball, and that's why he went that route. But a lot of people feel like if he hadn't went to jail and he would have kept all his football scholarships, that a lot of people feel like he probably would have been a Hall of Fame quarterback. But it ended up working out for Allen Iverson anyway, because he's now his future Hall of Fame basketball player.
Yeah. He got the last laugh.
Yeah. So it worked out for Allen Iverson either way.
Shouts out to the 7 cities: Chesapeake, Hampton, Norfolk, Suffolk, Newport News, Bad News, VA 757, stand up. That's a little shout out to the fam. Killer fam. Killer. Now they're my partners out there. But yeah.
All right, man. And another thing, man, I want to talk about today is deflate gate. But we're not so much going to focus on deflate gate. We're going to talk about Roger Goodell himself. And so you have Andy Benoit, who is a writer for Sports Illustrated. He wrote an article this week discussing the NFL commish and deflate gate. And this is what he wrote. I want to read a quote from Andy Benoit in his article. But he says, I think the more I read about Deflategate, the less faith I have in the NFL. I'm not saying Tom Brady and the Patriots are totally innocent, but no sensible person will describe the league's proof as being anything close to beyond a reasonable doubt. And just because the CBA doesn't say it has to be, doesn't mean it shouldn't be. I'm not going on calling for someone's firing, but Roger Goodell went after the sport's grandest star and this decade's most accomplished franchise. And in doing so, he created a gargantuan distraction for both during Super Bowl week and now as we start training camp. Then he allowed the misinformation from that distraction to percolate for many months, damaging the brand of all parties involved, including the league. And this is the antithesis of protecting the shield. Barring a turn of events in this Deflategate saga, and with the way things have gone, there very well could be another turn of events. And he believes that Roger Goodell should be fired as NFL commissioner.
What you think about that, man?
Because of Deflategate.
What you think about that?
I don't know if he should be fired. And now a lot of players complaining, talking about like if Antonio Cromartie of the New York Jets saying that he doesn't, he doesn't think Tom Brady should be suspended. He thinks Tom Brady should just be fined, and that's it. And that he doesn't like the fact that Roger Goodell just be making up shit as he goes along.
I told you that a long time ago, man. Like I said, I told you I believe that just like with the government, you got the president. But the president, he could use executive order if he wants to. But 9 times out of 10, he had to go through Congress. You know what I'm saying? Somebody had to check. It's called check and balance. And I believe that even though they got the NFL union, they got the union, and they, but
the problem with the NFL is Roger Goodell is Congress. He is the president.
They need Roger Goodell to be president or chairman, whatever he's executive. But he need about 12 people, 6 and 6, to yay, nay. You understand what I'm saying? Somebody and had a rule book right in front of them, so they won't. So it could be law and order. I don't knock him. I used to knock him the way he used to do martial arts. That was ridiculous how he used to just find because just anything.
Yeah, he grabbed his nuts. That's $10,000 fine. You don't talk to me. That's $100,000 fine. You wear the wrong hat. That's $500,000.
Yeah, but see, my thing is like, out of all the bad he did, for him to do this to Tom Brady, this is righteous. You know what I'm saying? This is probably by far the goodest thing he ever did in my eyesight. For real. Now this fair and square, it don't get no better than that. But Tom Brady to be suspended for just 4 games, that's a pat on the back. But
according to other players in the NFL, they don't believe Tom Brady should be suspended at all. They just think, just fine him and move on. They think that Roger Goodell overstepped his boundaries by suspending him. Now, going back to Andy Benoit, the writer for Sports Illustrated, he believes that Roger Goodell should be fired because he believes that Roger Goodell overstepped his boundaries. Because if you look at the evidence here for Deflategate, the Patriots and Tom Brady are not innocent. But at the same time, in a court of law anyway, you got to prove beyond reasonable doubt that this person is guilty. Roger Goodell has not proved beyond reasonable doubt that Tom Brady is guilty. Therefore, he feels Roger Goodell's overstepped his boundaries, and because of that, Roger Goodell needs to be fired.
But think about it on this line. If Tom Brady was so innocent, then why he destroyed them phones? Why he destroyed his phone? He must have had something to have. And somebody did get fired. The only person that got fired out the process was the ball boy. You know what I'm saying? So something happened. Something went down. Something happened. Why would you fire the ball boy? What did the ball boy do? All the ball boy did was what he was told to do. That's all. You understand what I'm saying? So Tom Brady ain't innocent of anything. Don't let that, all this stuff. They won the Super Bowl. They celebrated. They had a good time. Time to pay the piper. You know what I'm saying? 4 games ain't nothing compared to what he could really do. You understand what I'm saying? So I feel like true enough. I don't think Roger Goodell need to be fired, but I think that they need a panel though. They need somebody to check and balance them though. They need somebody to say, okay, no, that's a little too extreme. Let's talk it out. Let's sit them. Let's have like a tribunal. You know what I'm saying? Let's sit them down. Let's.
Yeah, it's still right now. Roger Goodell is the judge, jury, and executioner.
and execution, and it shouldn't be that way. It shouldn't be that way. It should always be an appeal process to where you ain't appealing to the Roger Goodell, because it should be you appeal to
like a third party.
To a third party, you know what I'm saying, that vouch for you or look over the records and run it back by him and be like, hey, this is how things need to be. You know, it shouldn't just be one person playing God with these players, man. It shouldn't be like that.
Well, okay, let me ask you this though, Batty. Well, go ahead, finish your thought.
I was thinking of, you remember the NFL lockout?
Yeah, that was 4 years ago. Yeah, 4 years ago.
Now, explain that to me, man. To me, it was crazy. But explain what that was exactly about.
Well, it was all about the money. So, based on the money, before the lockout in 2011, the issue was that the owners and the players got a 60-40 split between the revenue money. So the NFL, like for example, the NFL is racking in close to $200 billion a year. The NFL makes more. No league in the world makes more money than the NFL. The NFL is the highest ranking league in the world. Like the NFL just racking in money. It's the most popular sport. It's the highest rated sport, and nobody loves football like Americans do compared to any other sport. No, like when it comes to football, that's football in my opinion is America's pastime now. No, forget baseball, it's now football. So what the players want to do is they want to split that revenue 50-50, because let's face it, we watch football for the players. We ain't watching it for the owners. So they felt like, it wasn't fair that the owners were making so much money off, off the football for the players and stuff like that. So that's why they had the lockout. And finally the lockout ended because they had a compromise. So part of the compromise is that instead of giving a 50-50 split, it's a 51-49 split. So the owners get 51% of the revenue, the players get 49% of the revenue. Also, too, they also made an agreement that, instead of having 2-a-days, remember 2-a-days when we used to play high school football?
Right.
Instead of doing 2-a-days, they agreed that, nowadays players will only practice, once a day and that's it, because therefore, make them more healthier and they can last longer in the season.
So all in all, that kind of like balanced out. It balanced out. Was it righteous or was it
Well, yeah, but see, part of the collective bargaining agreement too was that the players' union at the time gave Roger Goodell all these powers that he has now, and so, but now after they gave him those powers to do what he's doing now, they don't like it, and now I'm pretty sure the next whenever the agreement expires, I'm pretty sure that'll be the next thing the union and the NFL going to discuss.
So with all that said, I mean, what do you think about it? What do you think about Roger? You think he should be fired?
I don't think he should be fired because when it comes to punishing these players, I agree with them. No, I think he'd be overstepping his boundaries because it appears to me and it appears to the players that Roger Goodell just be making up shit as he goes along. It's kind of like however he feels that day, that's how he's going to punish you. If he's in a good mood, he just might get fined or he might just get suspended one game. If he's in a bad mood, like with Josh Gordon, you get suspended a whole year just for tossing positive for beer. They'll suspend you a whole year. So
yeah, that ain't right, man.
Yeah, so
that ain't right.
Yeah,
man.
just for testing positive. Yeah, just for testing positive for beer. Yeah. So I mean, that's why the players are complaining, saying that Roger Goodell just making up shit as he goes. Like who do you know gets suspended a whole year for testing positive for alcohol? I can understand if he was on steroids or if he was on cocaine or something like that, but he just tested positive for alcohol. So so I mean, I agree with that. At the same time, I don't think he should be fired because Roger Goodell has done a lot for the NFL. He's helped grow the league. Since Roger Goodell took over in 2006, the NFL has become more and more popular than it was before he took over. And he's done things to help build the league up. He's trying to make the game more international, even though I don't really agree with it sometimes. But He's doing a good job of that. And to be honest with you, it's working because now they're trying to add a football into the Olympics. So he's done a lot of things to grow the game. So because of that, I don't think he should be fired. But the way he punishes these players, I think he'd be overstepping his boundaries. He act like, he's daddy. And these players are his kids. And he can just do whatever the hell he wants.
Do what I tell you to do?
Yeah.
It's going to cost you.
So I agree with you that they do need a third party to step in here. Because right now, like I said, Roger Goodell is the judge, he's the jury, and he's the executioner. And that's too much power for one man to have, in my opinion.
Yeah, too much power. All that power. Like Kanye said. Like Kanye, you don't need all that power. Like
Now, here's what Tiki Barber said. Remember Tiki Barber used to play for used to be the running back for the New York Giants.
Right.
And his brother Rondé Barber used to play for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers when they won the Super Bowl back in 2002. So Tiki Barber has his own radio show now in New York, and this is what he had to say about Roger Goodell. He said, forget about what he's been punishing. This has nothing to do with Tom Brady. It does, but it doesn't. I want to put that aside for a second because whether you think he's guilty or not, it almost doesn't matter. What happened in this case was Roger Goodell hired Ted Wells to do a report. Now we subsequently find out that the NFL lawyers were working with Ted Wells, which goes back to Rachel Nichols from CNN asking him about conflict of interest. Yeah. So the NFL lawyers were working with Ted Wells to compile this report, even though it's supposed to be quote unquote independent. Then when Ray Rice had his altercation with his wife in the elevator, the story was then that Roger Goodell was saying, I didn't even see the video. I had no idea that was actually happened. Even though the video pretty much confirmed everything that was in the police report, but according to Roger Goodell, he had no knowledge that it was that bad. So now, because of what happened, now because of what just came out with this Tom Brady thing and deflate gate, it now makes me question whether Roger Goodell was lying to save his ass. Back then with Ray Rice. All this stuff is coming out now and it looks ugly for Roger Goodell. I don't trust him as the commissioner of the National Football League anymore. So to answer your question, yeah, I think he should be fired. That's Tiki Barber. So Tiki Barber says I don't trust him as the commissioner of the NFL, and he thinks he should be fired. And this is a former player saying this.
Former player saying it. So, hey man, I don't know, man. Like I said, I feel like I said, he just needs to be checked. You need to be like a Congress. You need to be like checks and balances. He shouldn't have all that power like that. And you know what I'm saying? Just like the president. I mean, even the president don't have that much power. The president got power now, but Congress got the last say so in almost everything. They pass laws and send it up to, he could veto it. President Obama, he could veto it. But at the same time, it always checks and balances. Even with the judicial system, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got legislature, judicial, and the executive branch. And all of it checks and balances. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no power. That's how the government set up. It should be the same for the NFL. You know what I'm saying? It shouldn't be just one person. Yes. I mean, another question I got, how basketball league do this? Do they do the same thing as,
to be honest with you, I don't know because remember, the NBA has a new commissioner now, Adam Silver. Now, when David Stern was commissioner, that little asshole could do whatever the hell he wanted. You know what I'm saying? Because David Stern used to abuse his power all the time. No, but even with David Stern, I thought he went too far. Put in that dress code, which Adam Silver, even though the dress code is still in the NBA rule book, but Adam Silver, the new commissioner of the NBA, he seems to be more lenient because these players are wearing whatever the hell they want, and Adam Silver doesn't do anything. You got these players wearing tight ass blue jeans and stuff like that, and Adam Silver doesn't say anything about it. So Adam Silver seems to be more lenient than David Stern was. But yeah, David Stern, man, to me, I used to think David Stern used to abuse his power too.
Yeah. But too much money out pumping out here, man. Shit, for it to be this wild, you got people who voice their opinion, players, and
Well, even the fans, man. This fan, he started a Facebook page called "Fire Roger Goodell."
Oh, for real?
Yeah. And right now, there's a petition on the internet to get him fired as well. So if you want to sign this petition, you can get Roger Goodell fired. No, you just need 3,000. They just need 3,000 signatures for the petition to be sent to Congress.
Roger, depend on how I feel, Goodell. Depend on how I feel.
Yeah,
you gonna pay for it? I don't think so.
Fidel Goodell. No, Fidel Goodell.
Yeah. But like I said, man, he redeemed himself in my mind when he did this, with Tom Brady. I mean, I understand what I think you read an article you were saying. He dragged out so long that it kind of messed up the Patriots brand and name and the shield of the NFL.
Yeah, that's what Andy Benoit, the guy from Sports Illustrated, that's what he was saying in his article.
Yeah, and in my mind, I'm thinking to myself, like, why? I would have been satisfied it would have just fined the Patriots right then and there when they got caught in they mess. Just fine them. I would have been satisfied with that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I didn't expect for him to suspend Tom Brady because in my mind, I didn't even think that he was gonna be touched. But it seemed like the coach threw Tom Brady under the bus. He's like, I don't know what Tom doing. Yeah, I don't know. The coach.
Well, yeah, but now I'm looking at it though. I think the coach is just saying that because the coach probably knew the owner paid Roger Goodell $1 million to get Tom off the hook. Yeah, and it didn't work. It didn't work.
It backfired. It was also Goodell like a 2-time type. Like he just took the money and just.
Well, no, remember like the Dark Knight Rises. Bane's like you think your money gives you power over me? I don't need your money.
Yeah.
I'm in control. Yeah. No, you're not in control. I'm in control. Just because you have money doesn't mean you're in control.
Yeah. But yeah, I think Tom Brady, you know what I'm saying? He know. I mean, you got to think about all them teams. They work so hard. They bust their butts. Patriot team, they ain't even got a team.
Well, actually, I'm glad you said that though, because you have players like Antonio Cromartie of the Jets, Bernard Pollard. I forgot what team Bernard Pollard plays for.
They bust make butts, and they.
Yeah. So you got So you have Antonio Cromartie of the Jets, Bernard Pollard of the Baltimore Ravens. They've all come out, and I'm pretty sure a lot of players feel the same way, and defended Tom Brady. Not necessarily, I won't say they didn't really defend Tom Brady because they don't think Tom Brady's guilty, but they think Tom Brady should be fined, and that's it. They don't think he should be suspended. So what do you think about the players saying, hey, Roger Goodell's overstepping his boundaries by suspending Tom Brady?
What I think, man, I think justice is justice.
So you don't agree with the players then?
Nah, I don't even agree with. I mean, I have to put myself in their shoes and have understanding because, like I think you told me, once he's suspended, he ain't even getting paid, right?
Nah.
You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody trying to take.
And for those four games, Tom Brady's gonna lose $2 million.
Yeah, that's a lot of money to lose. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it'd be. That's what I'm saying. When it comes down to money, I guess a lot of people don't have understanding of it. Like,
I guess the players look at it as, like, look, if Roger Goodell could do that to Tom Brady,
he could do it.
He could do it to us.
Yeah. But because in my mind, before I thought he was still getting paid even while he's he just sitting out.
No, he's been suspended. He's been suspended without pay.
And then you gotta imagine, you gotta think to yourself, he got bills, he got a family.
Well, I mean, even without the bills, man, I'm pretty sure you can still. I mean, even without him being suspended for 4 games, I'm pretty sure he can still, pay his bills. Just that, for those 4 games, he's losing $2 million out of his paycheck. But I mean, even without those $2 million, I mean, Tom Brady's still gonna be making $10 million this year. It ain't like he's hurting. So you're saying that you disagree with the players that Tom Brady deserves to be suspended, and he should just take it like a man, like you said last week, and just and just sit his 4 games, and that's it.
That's it. I'm sure he got Brady standing back. He just won a Super Bowl. No, I just think like I said last week or 2 weeks ago, I said that the linebackers, they ain't had nothing to do with the balls. The offensive line didn't have nothing to do with the balls. Defensive line didn't have nothing to do with the balls. Hell, even the coach didn't have nothing to do with the balls. Tom Brady knew what was going on with them balls. So, I mean, at the end of the day, it all lies on him. You know what I'm saying? Deflate gate.
But according to the Patriots, they act like the ball boy did it all on his own.
No, good and well. And then what's crazy about it? They fired the ball boy.
They're saying he's suspended indefinitely.
I mean, you fired. You ain't coming back. You ain't coming back. Your term, your services here are no longer required. They fired the ball boy, and the ball boy was just doing as he was told. He was doing what somebody told him to do. You can't fire the ball boy. I mean, they did. I can't say they can't, but they did. But the main person who they should be mad at is the quarterback, because he's the only person that throw the ball to his liking. I mean, I keep telling y'all, Tom Brady pretty much admitted to the world that he did it in so many words. When he was doing his, y'all look it up on YouTube. When he was doing his
press conference.
His press conference. People that past 21, even folk 21 or they could look and see and look in the person's eyes and tell when the person ain't telling the truth, man. That joker was shucking a jive and dodging questions. And what made me angry, he kept hollering about integrity of the game. Integrity of the game. We wouldn't be having that conversation if you want to mess with the balls, Tom. If you want to tell the ball, but hey, flatten him up a little bit. Throw it out there, get it out there a little far.
Well, I mean, he might not even be suspended. He might not even be suspended if he wasn't flushing his phone down the toilet.
Phone. So I mean. Did Roger Goodell make him flush his phone down the toilet? Did the coach make him flush even the ball boy make him flush the phone down the toilet? That's the issue at hand. He was trying to hide and destroy evidence. That's obstruction. You understand? He might be cleared in the court of law, but Roger Goodell, he's sitting there like, if you so clean, you squeak. Everybody else gave me their phones, and I looked at the ball boy phone, and I looked at everybody else's phone. What about your phone? Can I have that phone? Oh, my lawyer said I don't have to confide. Plus, I destroy my phones. My phone's gone. I always destroy. Who break their phone on purpose, man? Come on.
He said he goes through the phone every 4 months.
What would you park the mob or something wrong with you? Who do that? I'm just saying, who do stuff like that? Somebody that's guilty and trying to hide evidence and don't want things to get tracked back to them. But like I said, I feel it was justified. I feel like the suspension was justified. And Roger Goodell, you got a good star in my book. No, you know what I'm saying? Plus, on top of that, I can't stand the Patriots. I hate the Patriots. But shouts out to Teddy Bruschi. playing with a back broke and everything. That joker had heart. He had heart, man.
Well, I mean, since we're at it, man, might as well shout out the Patriots Nation since they're following us on Twitter now.
Shouts out to the Patriot Nation. And shouts out to Bree. Bree. She a true diehard Patriot fan. Shouts out to Bree. Yeah, I think it's justified though, man.
All right, man. So we'll see how it all works out. They'll be going to court. As a matter of fact, they'll be going to court on the 12th. Was that Wednesday? So we're going to court on a Wednesday. So we'll see how it all plays out. Even though the judge told both the NFL and Tom Brady that you need to get this shit together before you guys come in here. So the judge in New York, man, he ain't bullshitting around. He told Tom Brady and NFL, y'all need to settle this, or I'll settle it for you. So we're gonna see how all that plays out. Go ahead, Bowden.
Who they going to see? Judge Mathis?
Well, yeah, but remember Tom Brady and the union, they wanted to go see that judge in Minnesota that helped him out with the Adrian Peterson case, and that judge sent the case to Manhattan, talking about that ain't our problem. No, Tom Brady plays in Massachusetts. No, the unions in D.C., the NFL offices in New York. So y'all go handle it in Manhattan. Why I don't understand why you guys come here to Minnesota with your problems. We ain't got nothing to do with that. But we'll move on. So as you guys know, this year is the 50th anniversary of the Super Bowl. And to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the Super Bowl, the NFL is going to have different Super Bowl rematches throughout the season, throughout the course of the season. So starting tomorrow, actually, with the preseason kicks off tomorrow, and to kick off the preseason, you're going to have the Pittsburgh Steelers taking on the Minnesota Vikings in a rematch of Super Bowl IX. And on Thursday, you're having the Green Bay Packers take on the New England Patriots, speaking of the Patriots, in a rematch of Super Bowl 31. So, what we're going to do is that we're going to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the Super Bowl by recapping each Super Bowl rematch that the NFL has throughout the year. So every week, the NFL is going to have at least one Super Bowl rematch, and every week we're going to recap that match by taking you back down memory lane. For some of the older viewers, for some of the older listeners, this will take you back down memory lane. For some of the younger listeners, it'll be a history lesson. So we're going to be doing this all throughout the season, all throughout the year, as we celebrate the 50th anniversary of the Super Bowl, as we get ready to kick off the 2015 NFL season, and as we get ready for Super Bowl 50. So it's time to go back to the future, and we're going to hit that time machine, Bowden. So you ready?
Okay, McFly. Coming to get you, McFly.
Dancing, dancing, dancing. She's a dancing machine. Oh, baby, move it, baby. Automatic, systematic, full of color, self-contained. Tuned and channel to your vibes. Captivating, stimulating. She's such a sexy lady. Filled with space safe design.
She's moving, she's grooving, dancing until the music stops now. Yeah.
All right, so we're going to take it back to 1974 with a little Jackson 5, Dancing Machine, Little Michael and his brothers are doing their thing back then. Dancing, dancing, dancing. Dancing Machine. Ooh, baby. So we're going to take it back to 1974 as we're going to discuss Super Bowl IX. And Super Bowl IX was between the AFC champion Pittsburgh Steelers taking on the NFC champion Minnesota Vikings. This Super Bowl was played in New Orleans, Louisiana. as the Pittsburgh Steelers beat the Minnesota Vikings 16-6. And as we discussed, man, this game will be played tomorrow in a rematch as the preseason kicks off with the Vikings and Steelers playing tomorrow. So this game featured two future Hall of Fame quarterbacks. For the Pittsburgh Steelers, you had Terry Bradshaw, and for the Minnesota Vikings, you had Fran Tarkenton. But at this time in 1974, Terry Bradshaw was not the Terry Bradshaw that we all know and love today. In 1974, Terry Bradshaw was a young, inconsistent quarterback who, quite frankly, got benched to start the 1974 season. But his backup, Joe Gilliam, also wasn't all that great either. So midway through the season, Chuck Noll, the Steelers head coach, went back to Terry Bradshaw, and pretty much starting out with this Super Bowl, Terry Bradshaw's career just took off. So a little history lesson here as we talk about Super Bowl 9. So Super Bowl 9, we'll give you a background of the Steelers, 1974 Steelers. So like I said, the Steelers at this time, they were going through a rebuilding phase. Now, for the longest time, the Steelers were the worst team in the NFL. Everything changed in 1969 when they hired Coach Chuck Noll. That same year, in 1969, they drafted Mean Joe Green. Then in 1970, they drafted Terry Bradshaw and Mel Blount. In 1971, the team drafted Jack Ham and Ernie Holmes and Dwight White and Mike Wagner. Then in 1972, they drafted Franco Harris. In 1974, they drafted Jack Lambert, Mike Webster, Lynn Swann, John Stallworth, and Donnie Shell. So pretty much over between 1969 and 1974, the Steelers pretty much drafted the core nucleus of their team. So as I was saying before, man, heading into the 1974 season, Terry Bradshaw was not good at all. He struggled, so they went ahead with Joe Gilliam. Rest in peace to him. But he was the Steelers starting quarterback for the first 4 games, but then he struggled. And Chuck Noll, as I said, benched Joe Gilliam and put in Terry Bradshaw. And for whatever reason, maybe getting benched is what Terry Bradshaw needed. But after that, man, it lit a fire under his ass, and Terry Bradshaw just took off. His career took off. Ended up becoming this Hall of Fame quarterback. Then you had the Minnesota Vikings. The Minnesota Vikings in 1974. They were the Purple People Eaters. They were looking for redemption. Remember, they lost Super Bowl 5 years earlier. The year before, they lost Super Bowl 8 to the Miami Dolphins. So heading into Super Bowl 9, they were looking for redemption, trying to get revenge, and finally try to get that championship. So they were led by their Hall of Fame quarterback, Fran Tarkenton, and also led by the Purple People Eater defense, led by Carl Eller and Alan Page, and Paul Kurtz, as the Minnesota Vikings won the NFC that year. So in the playoffs, the Pittsburgh Steelers, they beat the Pittsburgh Steelers beat the Buffalo Bills, and then they beat the Oakland Raiders in the AFC Championship game. Meanwhile, the Minnesota Vikings, they beat the St. Louis Cardinals, who are now the Arizona Cardinals, and they beat the Los Angeles Rams, who are now the St. Louis Rams. Even though next year, they might be the Los Angeles Rams again. Those are the teams that the Steelers and the Vikings beat in the playoffs to get to the Super Bowl. So, Pittsburgh pretty much dominated this Super Bowl. They won the game 16-6. The still current defense dominated this game. Franco Harris, the running back, was named MVP. As Franco Harris had 34 carries with a Super Bowl record. He also ran the ball for 158 yards and a touchdown. He was named MVP. The defense pretty much dominated Minnesota. Minnesota's offense didn't even score a touchdown. Minnesota's only touchdown came on special teams. They couldn't do a damn thing all day long. And Minnesota's defense, to their credit, they played pretty well. And they held Pittsburgh to just 16 points throughout the game. So about it, man. What's your thoughts on Super Bowl 9, man, heading back to 1974? Yeah, and to me, because Pittsburgh Steelers became a dynasty, that they were the team of the 70s, and no team has won more no team has won more Super Bowls than Pittsburgh Steelers. Pittsburgh Steelers have won 6 Super Bowls in their franchise's history, which is the most in the NFL. But to me, this Super Bowl is important because this is a Super Bowl that started it all. This is a Super Bowl that kicked it all off. And without Super Bowl 9, you probably don't look at the Pittsburgh Steelers the same way you do today. And like I said, especially for Terry Bradshaw, heading into 1974, he was not a great quarterback. He got benched. Then later on got his job back. And like I said, his career just took off after that. So not only was this the beginning of the Steelers dynasty, it's also the beginning of Terry Bradshaw becoming that Hall of Fame quarterback that we all know today. And like I said, maybe him getting benched, a little fire under his ass, and he started playing well after that. Sometimes God don't ever know what you need, man. You get knocked down a couple times and lose your job, for you to just wake up and start playing with. And Terry Bradshaw was a Louisiana native, man. He won the Super Bowl in his hometown, New Orleans. So there you have it, man. Super Bowl 9. So we're going to head back to the time machine once again. Bowden, you ready?
Let's go, fly. Let's go. Let's go. Okay, Marty. Okay, Marty. You ready? You ready, Marty? Let me get you, McFly. You ain't touching me, Bill. You don't touch me.
Greetings, Earthling. From the bottom of my lungs, a nigga be blowing, spitting this game. Coming up on you from the south, the ATLians ain't changed. Cooler than most players claim to be. A nigga that from the A-Town C, the home of the Bankhead bound. Coming to road in other city streets, enough of the morality, fallacy, but it be speeding on fiction. People that pulling your guards, slicking and Jerry Curls, you bitches. Every time I rhyme for y'all, I'm looking to prove a point. Kicking a freestyle every now and then, but mostly after joint. See, I smoke good, cause see it go good with them flows. Why? The nigga the B.I.G. like Tony Rich, nobody knows why, but me and my folks, cause y'all niggas joke just like the Joker. I'm sick of these whack-ass rappers like I'm tired of hoes with chokers. Who them boys that be having it crunk every occasion? This side niggas dustin', that side niggas lacing. But in the Middle East they calm, we just drop bombs. Asking where we come from, South Coast slums.
Just 2 dope boys in a Cadillac. It's just 2 dope boys.
Alright, so we're going to take it back now to 1996. Bowden's favorite decade, the 90s. As we're going to discuss, the Super Bowl rematch is going to take place on Thursday when the Green Bay Packers take on the New England Patriots, which is a rematch of Super Bowl 31. Now we're going to talk about Super Bowl 31 in that 1996 season. So Super Bowl 31, you had the AFC champions, New England Patriots, taking on the NFC champions, Green Bay Packers. And Green Bay won the game 35-21. This game is most remembered for Desmond Howard becoming the first kick returner ever, and so far the only kick returner to be named Super Bowl MVP, as he had over like 200-something yards, 244 yards of return yards. So combined punt return and kick return, he had 244 yards and a touchdown, as he had 99 yard kick return for a touchdown. He pretty much won the game for the Green Bay Packers. It was also a heartbreaking kick return too, as the New England got the score close. They were able to cut it down to 28-21. And that kick return, no thing they got back in the game. And then the next play, Desmond Howard, returns that kick, and it's pretty much over for New England at that point. Now this is 1996. This is before Bowden even hated the Patriots. This is even before the Patriots really had that good. I remember back in 1996, because the Patriots were a bad team for a long time, and then all of a sudden, 1996, they got good. They went to the Super Bowl. And I remember because the joke at that time was that people in Boston forgot they even had a football team. That's how bad the Patriots were at that time. That's how bad the Patriots were. Nowadays everybody just be just dick riding the Patriots. But back then, no, people even start boxing head football team. But everything changed in 1993 when Bill Parcells became the head coach. And that same year, man, they drafted Drew Bledsoe. And Drew Bledsoe did his thing. And I feel sorry for Drew Bledsoe because Drew Bledsoe was a great quarterback. But he gets overshadowed because in 2001 he got hurt. Tom Brady took over, and the rest is history. And now Drew Bledsoe is kind of like the forgotten quarterback for the New England Patriots. Even though you can make the argument that he's probably the best quarterback the Patriots have ever had, even though he doesn't have the Super Bowls that Tom Brady has, but from pure talent, I think Drew Bledsoe is probably better than Tom Brady, just from a talent standpoint. Even though I know a lot of Patriot fans probably argue with me and probably blow me up on Twitter. That's just my opinion. Yeah, so Drew Bledsoe, 1996, did his thing. He had the best year of his career, and because in return, he led the Patriots to their second Super Bowl in franchise history. The first time the Patriots went to the Super Bowl in 11 years. The first time they went to the Super Bowl was back in 1985, the year Battle was born. And they got the ass about the Bears. So Drew Bledsoe brought the Patriots back to relevancy. As Drew Bledsoe that he had 4,000 yards, 4,086 yards passing. He had 27 touchdowns. He had 15 interceptions. Also, too, Curtis Martin did his thing too. Had 1,152 yards rushing, 14 touchdown passes. Plus he caught 46 passes, 333 yards, and he also had 3 touchdowns. And that year, the Patriots defense was led by Willie McGinnis, Lloyd Malloy, Willie Clay, Ty Law, Bowden's favorite player Teddy Bruschi was doing his thing back in '96. So I mean, the Patriots were pretty much loaded. And to be honest with you, same players from this '96 team, with the exception of Drew Bledsoe, they were the same team from that won the Super Bowl in the early 2000s, back in 01, 02, 03. So you can say that this '96 team, even though they didn't win, this '96 team set the foundation for what happened in the 2000s. Now, talk about the Green Bay Packers. So the Green Bay Packers that year, that's when Brett Favre was doing his thing. Brett Favre was the league MVP, as he led the league in passing, and he also led the league in touchdown passing. Brett Favre that season, had 39 touchdown passes. Now, nowadays, what teams throwing would play, we see quarterbacks throwing 50 touchdown passes every year. 39 touchdown passes is not a big deal. Back in 1996, Brett Favre throwing 39 touchdown passes was a big deal back then. Back then, they weren't. Well, back then with the rules and stuff, the rules were a lot harder than it is today. Back then, you catch that football, they rock you. And nowadays, they have all these rules where you can't touch nobody. So the fact that Brett Favre threw 39 touchdown passes back in '96, that was a big deal back then. Today's game, because of the rule changes, it's easy for a quarterback to throw 39 touchdown passes. It's not really that big of a deal. But '96 was a big deal, and Brett Favre won MVP that year. Not only did Brett Favre win the MVP, but the Green Bay Packers had the best record in the NFL that season at 13-3, at 13 wins, only 3 losses the whole year. Also, too, the Packers became the first team since the 1972 Miami Dolphins who went undefeated that year. They were the first team since the 1972 Miami Dolphins to have the #1 offense in the NFL and the #1 defense in the NFL. As the Green Bay Packers defense was led by the late great Reggie White. As Reggie White did his thing back in '96. And so Green Bay, on offense, the Green Bay Packers offense were averaging 31 points per game. Their defense only allowed 9 points per game. So in other words about it, the Green Bay Packers were whooping ass in '96. So they were averaging 31 points per game scoring, and they only allowed 9 points a game. So back in '96, man, you ain't no bitch to fuck with Green Bay. You know what I'm saying? Green Bay was just whooping everybody's ass back in '96.
Now who them boys that be having it crunk every occasion? This side niggas dustin', that side niggas lacing, but in the middle they call we just drop.
He was a bad boy. Brett Favre. But
yeah, the Mississippi gunslinger. Yeah.
It was between, you know, I know Dan Marino didn't win a Super Bowl, but the accuracy of his throw between him and Dan Marino.
From the bottom of my lungs, a nigga be blowing, spitting the game.
Dan Marino
From you from the top, the ATL aliens ain't changed. Cooler than most players claim to be. A nigga that from the A-Town see the home of the bank head bound. Kevin Terrell and others.
Well, yeah, well, back then in the '90s, man, it was the top quarterbacks were Brett Favre, Troy Aikman, Steve Young, Dan Marino, Jim Kelly, John Elway.
The nigga the B.I.G. like Tony Rich, nobody knows why.
Brett Favre was up there.
Y'all niggas joke just like the
Well, 96 was Brett Favre's year. I mean, that was the best season of his career. He was the MVP. But the Green Bay Packers as a whole, as a team, they were just whooping everybody's ass. Like I said, offensively, they averaged 31 points per game that year. Defensively, they only allowed an average of 9 points per game. So when your offense scores 31, and your defense only allowing the team to score 9, you're just whooping ass. You just beat the shit out of the team. Now, the major story for the Super Bowl 31 was Green Bay Packers wide receiver Don Beebe. Don Beebe, he was part of the Buffalo Bills that lost 4 Super Bowls during the 90s. So Don Beebe left Buffalo, went to Green Bay. And the big story was, Don Beebe finally after his 5th try, get that Super Bowl ring. But other than that, nobody really gave New England a chance. Everybody thought Green Bay was going to whoop New England's ass. But the game was actually pretty closer than what people suspected. So New England, they got to the Super Bowl first. They beat the Pittsburgh Steelers. Then they beat the Jacksonville Jaguars in the AFC Championship game, which was a surprise because Jacksonville was an expansion team back then. In 1996, Jacksonville was a new team. Nobody expected Jacksonville to make it that far. And then Green Bay, they got to the Super Bowl first. They beat the San Francisco 49ers. And then they beat the Carolina Panthers. And the Carolina Panthers, they came up probably one of the biggest upsets that season because the Panthers beat the Dallas Cowboys. Again, the Carolina Panthers, like the Jacksonville Jaguars, they were still a brand new team. But they were like maybe their second year in the NFL, 1996, right about now.
Right.
And they beat the defending champion Dallas Cowboys in the playoffs, and nobody saw that coming. That was probably the biggest surprise of the playoffs, because everybody thought Dallas was going to do their thing that year, and Carolina whooped their ass. I don't know if Dallas didn't take them seriously or what, but they intercepted Troy Aikman. I think they intercepted Troy Aikman 3 times, and Emmitt Smith struggled. Michael Irvin didn't play that good, so Carolina really took it to Dallas, and that was pretty much a surprise. And me being a Cowboys fan, to be honest, I really don't remember that game. Maybe because I was so disappointed that they lost. I just blacked that out of my mind. But I don't remember Dallas getting their ass whooped by Carolina like that.
From the bottom of my lungs, a nigga be blowing, spitting the game. Coming up on you from the top, the ATL.
They won it 92, 93, and 95.
Nigga that from the A-Town see the home of the bank head bound. Kevin Terrell and other city streets, enough of the morality. Fallacy, but we speak not fiction. Even if pulling your guards, licking a Jerry, you bitches. Every time I rhyme for y'all, I'm looking to prove a point. Kicking a freestyle.
They changed coach back in 94. And they won the Super Bowl in 95 with that same coach. But for whatever reason, in 96, Jimmy Johnson coached them in the first 2 Super Bowls. The third Super Bowl they won with Barry Switzer. But for whatever reason, though, like I said, Carolina in 96 was still kind of a brand new team. So for them to beat Dallas like that, it took everybody by surprise. And like I said, I don't know, maybe the Cowboys didn't take them seriously. I don't know what happened. But they beat Dallas.
So sucker MC stepped up to me.
But you're right though, Dallas did have a great run though back in the 90s. Though they are the team of the 90s. No team won more championships than the Cowboys did that decade.
So fuck this, let me explain only child style so you don't miss. I grew up to myself, not around no park bench. Just a nigga bustin'.
Yeah, same here. That's what I'm saying. Like I'm surprised because like, and I'm a diehard Cowboys fan, but I don't know if it's because they lost or what, but I don't remember that game against the Carolina Panthers. I guess I blocked that in my mind. I don't remember that shit.
Just two dope boys in a Cadillac. Just two dope boys in a Cadillac.
Yeah, the Olympics.
Yeah, in Atlanta.
Having to play your shit in this atmosphere. This ain't no practice here. We cutting the food. I'm doing you at the house and throwing you out because I'm you now. Don't you love the way we
against the Holyfield when he hit his ear.
Looking around the spot for the earth that's never tainted. Fainted when you heard the bourbon serving on the block and all you biting individuals need to check yourself and stop.
Yeah, tight like nuts and bolts, nuts and hoes.
No, she Tupac died in 96.
Now tricks be looking at me like I'm they way about the
yeah, that's when the Braves lost the game.
No, ain't got no Rolex or no diamond at the exit with a sign saying we a rapper. My face is balled up cause I ain't been a
especially for Atlanta.
And the index, cause somewhere in my life I done went wrong just like a syntax error. Bring the terror to your dome like PE. Gonna finish this out because this be a free style. Now who the boys that on the occasion this side niggas.
Yeah, I thought so too. I remember that. But I don't remember Carolina whooping Dallas's ass.
You remember? I remember Madden 1996. You remember Madden 96 on the Super Nintendo?
Yeah, well, I played on I played on the Sega Genesis.
I played on Super Nintendo. That was
from the bottom of my lungs, a nigga be blowing, spitting this game. Coming up on you from the top, the ATL aliens ain't changed.
Well, actually, PlayStation came out a year later in '97.
Coming to roll in other city streets, enough of the morality, fallacy, but if we speak that fiction, even if pulling your guards, looking at Jerry Curse, you bitches. Every time I rhyme for y'all, I'm looking to prove a point. Kicking a freestyle every now and then, but mostly after joint. See, I smoke good, but see, I go good with them clothes. Why? The nigga that B.I.G. like Tony Rich.
Well, I mean, first of all, it depends on who you're talking about. Like I said, the younger generation has no idea what the hell you're talking about right now. The older generation, we're taking a trip down memory lane.
Just two dope boys in a Cadillac.
But it was a good year.
Just two dope boys in a Cadillac.
Just the 90s, man. The 90s.
It's so sucker MC stepped up to me. Challenge Andre to a battle.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, so back to Super Bowl 31. So so everybody thought Green Bay was gonna whoop New England's ass in the Super Bowl. Nobody really gave New England a chance. Despite the fact they had Drew Bledsoe, Teddy Bruschi, William McGinnis, all those guys. Nobody was giving New England a chance. Like I said, Green Bay that year with Brett Favre, Reggie White, they're just beating the brakes off everybody that year. Like nobody touched Green Bay that season. So nobody gave New England a chance, but the game was a lot closer than people anticipated. And also, too, ironically, because we're talking about Super Bowl 9, now we're talking about Super Bowl 31. Ironically, Super Bowl 31, just like Super Bowl 39, also took place in New Orleans. And just like when Terry Bradshaw was a Louisiana native, when the Super Bowl in Louisiana and New Orleans, Brett Favre was from Mississippi, also won the Super Bowl, kind of his hometown, because New Orleans is not that far, it's all on the Gulf Coast. So, Brett Favre kind of won the Super Bowl in his hometown, just like Terry Bradshaw did. Like I was saying, so the game was a lot close than people thought. Ironically, too, the game also remember too, because before the game started, they played the Macarena, which was the #1 song in 1996. I remember that damn song. Everybody was doing that damn dance. So the game was a lot closer. It was 28-21. Midway towards the end of the third quarter, New England finally fought back. They were down by 2 touchdowns. They fought back. They were able to, cut the game down to just 1 touchdown. They thought they had a chance to win the game. They were able to, scratch Green Bay's ass and sniff it. And then all of a sudden, Desmond Howard ran that ball back 99 yards, and that pretty much ended it. And then Reggie White pretty much put his foot down in the fourth quarter and sacked Drew Bledsoe 3 times in the fourth quarter, which is a Super Bowl record. Make sure that New England was not going to win that Super Bowl. As Green Bay won their first championship in 29 years by winning Super Bowl 31. So about now, we've been sitting here reminiscing about 1996, man. What's your thoughts on Super Bowl 31, man? You remember that game?
Yeah, I remember, like you said, man. It was an awesome game.
Sucker MC stepped up to me. Challenged me straight to a battle, and I stood there patiently as he spit and stumbled over cliches, so-called freestyling. Whole purpose just to make me feel look. I guess he wild, and I say, look, why I ain't for that fuck shit. So fuck this, let me explain only child style, so you don't miss. I grew up to myself.
Like I said, for me, I remember it because, like I said, 96 was Brett Favre's year. And nobody could stop Brett Favre that season. To me, Brett Favre had a great game. Actually, the Super Bowl's remembered because Desmond Howard was MVP, so the first kick returner, and so far the only kick returner in history to win the Super Bowl MVP. So that took a lot of people by surprise. As right now, I'm watching the Hall of Fame ceremony and say all man, kids and mom and stuff crying, man. It's a bittersweet day for the Sale family. They have to be sad that their son and their father committed suicide, but he's finally going into the Hall of Fame. So big up to Junior Seau. But back to Super Bowl 31. Back to Super Bowl 31 though, like I said, man, it was remembered because of what Desmond Howard did and how well Green Bay played. Also to New England, like I said, nobody gave New England a chance, but they gave Green Bay everything they had. They really did. And I thought, for a while, Green Bay might have a chance to meet New England. I had a chance to get the upset, but they didn't. Green Bay, put their foot down in that fourth quarter, shut them out, and New England was never able to get closer. And like I said, I also remember it too because it's funny now, looking back at it 19 years later, because we all talk about the Patriots like they're this great team, like they're the best team in the NFL, which technically they are because they are the world champions. But it's just funny to me because back in '96, the New England Patriots were such a bad team that when they finally got good in '96 and they made it to the Super Bowl, a lot of people in Boston forgot they even had a football team because the Patriots are so bad. So looking back on it 19 years later, it's so funny how much things have changed and how in '96, New England with Drew Bledsoe and all of them just came out of nowhere and went to the Super Bowl compared to now where you just expect New England to make it to the Super Bowl every year. And like I said, man, a lot of the players from this '96 team were on the New England Patriots team that won the Super Bowl in 01, 03, 02, and 03. Excuse me. To the back. So a lot of players from that '96 team, they were also on the team that won the Super Bowl in 01, 03, and 04. Drew Bledsoe was on that 01 team, but he was hurt, so he didn't even play. And then they cut him afterwards because that's when Tom Brady took over. So looking back on it now, I never really realized it too until just right now. But if you want to look back at history, you could say this 1996 team, even though they lost the Super Bowl, it set the foundation for what happened in 2001, 2003, and 2004.
Yeah. And I was thinking to myself, all honesty, I guess because it was a blur. Because me and you, diehard Cowboy fan, you see any other team besides the Cowboys in the Super Bowl, you ain't even stand trying to watch the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm surprised.
I think that's why I don't remember.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't even remember Dallas losing to Carolina in the playoffs because I don't remember it. And so it's like because it was a big upset at that time. Like I said, Carolina back in '96. For all the younger listeners out there, in '96. Carolina was still a relatively new team. They only been around for about 2 years. So for Carolina, so it was just a surprise that Carolina even made the playoffs that year. And not only did they make the playoffs, but they beat the hell out of the defending champion, the Dallas Cowboys. So like that team, when we talk about the New England today, that's how people talk about the Dallas Cowboys back then. So for a new team at the Carolina Panthers to beat the Cowboys in the playoffs, and not just beat them, but whip their ass, it shocked everybody. And like I said, for me personally, yeah, even though Houston's been around now for about 14 years, but yeah, similar to that. So I mean, to me, like I said though, me being a diehard Cowboys fan, I do not remember Dallas losing that game. And so, like I said, maybe because I like that in my memory, I don't know why, but I don't remember it. But that was a huge upset. But then Green Bay, knocked Carolina back down to earth by whooping their ass the following week.
Where we come from, South Coast slums.
Just two dope boys in a Cadillac. Just two dope boys in a Cadillac.
It goes wrong to the fleet.
I think that went Mad
TV
I think Mad TV came out before
no practice here. We cutting the food now. I'm you at the house and throwing you out because I'm you now. Don't you love the way we claiming bankhead, stankhead?
I'm supporting the camp.
Painted when you heard the bourbon serving on the block and all you.
Yeah, Mad TV came out in '95, so 1 year earlier.
Yeah, tight like nuts and bolts, nuts and hoes that get evicted.
So Mad TV was created to replace In Living Color, which got canceled in '95.
And no, ain't got no Rolex or no diamond at the exit with a sign saying we a rapper fool. My face is balled up cause I ain't in a happy mood while my partner got the squeegee and the Windex.
So yeah, there you have it, man. So that's Super Bowl 31. And so, about before we get out of here, man, final shout out for today.
Oh yeah, shouts out to Michael Vick, keep on persevering, keep your head up. Then I also got a shout out to one of my classmates, man, John Claude, man. John Claude, he's an upcoming rapper, producer, songwriter, movie producer, all kinds of things, man. The Joker been doing this since middle school. I mean, he been rapping since middle school. He on Twitter. Hit him up, John Claude, man. I'm promoting him, man. I'm going to throw him out there to my childhood friend, man. He doing big things in life, man. Out of Atlanta. Out of Atlanta, Georgia, by way of Forsyth, Macon, I-75, man. Shouts out to John Claude, man. He doing big things. And just send a shout out to America, London, because we got folks in London. We got folks in Italy, all over the world, all over the earth, man.
Don't forget our brothers up north.
Up north, Canada, man. Shouts out to Canada. And, we want the Migos to listen to, man. Shouts out to Mexico, man, and El Salvador, all down through there, Brazil, Colombia, all that. Hey, thanks, man. Thanks for listening to the Ant Show, man. We appreciate y'all viewership, man. Hey, continue to listen, continue to support us, man. What we doing? A Kickstarter? What we doing? We want y'all to support us, man.
Oh well, yeah. I haven't done that yet, but when I get that done, man, we'll promote that. Let you guys know about that as well.
Yeah.
We're also in the process of creating an app, so look out for that as well.
Yeah. Shouts out to America. Keep the peace and stay positive. That's my final word. All
right, and my shout out for today, man, goes out to the 2015 Hall of Fame class. That's which is going on right now. For people listening live, it's going on right now. People listening recorded, ignore this, but just shout out to the 2015 Hall of Fame class. So I want to shout out Charles Haley. Speaking of the Dallas Cowboys, Charles Haley helped the Cowboys win those 3 Super Bowls in the 90s. Jerome Bettis, the bus. Shouts out to him. Shouts out to Tim Brown. Shouts out to Will Shields. Shouts out to Mick Tingelhoff. Shouts out to Bill Polian. Shouts out to Ron Wolf, who was the general manager of that 1996 Green Bay Packer team that won the Super Bowl that we just talked about. So shouts out to Ron Wolf. And last but not least, shouts out to the late, great Junior Seau. Rest in peace.
Shout out to him. Yeah,
that's it. So that's it for today. We'll be back next week with a brand new episode. You can follow us on Twitter at ExpectedAnt. We're also on Tumblr at ExpectedAnt. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Subscribe to us on iTunes. And we are in the process of working on some other things. And we'll let you know about that when that comes out. So in the meantime, we are out. And y'all have a nice week.
Out.
Lay your head on my pillow. Just